Happy Wednesday. It is me, Danny, and I'm live again this Wednesday as promised with some inspirational words, some motivation for you. So hopefully you'll enjoy this tonight's message I'm calling Own Your Moment. And I'm really inspired by something that I was recently reminded about and did a little bit of research on. And so I can't wait to share it with you, and hopefully that some of it be somebody out there can find some inspiration or motivation that they need in their life about owning their moment. So if you could do me a favor, I would love as much interaction as possible. So feel free to comment, but also like and share. That would be awesome. I would really appreciate it. So anyways, for those of you that don't know me, if this is your first time viewing me, my name is Danny, and I am a newfound entrepreneur who is on a mission to change the world one drink at a time. My business is the Drinking Buddies, or Drinking with Danny, and really my mission in life is to help people dream outside of their current circumstances, and then to teach them ways to relentlessly pursue those dreams. As so many great mentors have done for me, that's my way of paying it forward. So tonight I want to talk to you about owning your moment. And what this is something that I've been having on my list of things to talk about for a while, because when I really originally saw it, I was really, really motivated by it and inspired, and it's always kind of stuck with me. And then recently, preparing for this message tonight, I did a little bit of research, and it took a little bit of a different turn. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time if you hear some coughing in the background. My little princess is a little sick, and she's laying in my bed. So that's going on. But anyways, so there was a Grammy award ceremony. I think it was in 2017. It was 16, 17, but I'm pretty sure it was 2017. And Adele took the stage. And, I'm pretty sure you guys know who Adele is. If you don't, I'm not one that necessarily considers myself hip in the music scene. And I know Adele. So hopefully you know who Adele is. The year before, that year, I can't remember what it was, but she was up for Best Album against Beyonce, and she won it. And there was a lot of talk about how Beyonce should have earned it, whatever. But this particular performance was being dedicated to George Michael, because he had passed away the previous year. The Grammys is normally in January or so. So he had passed away, and Adele was able to do the tribute to him. And she takes the stage, and if you can picture Adele, right, she's not necessarily your stereotypical pop star in what I consider to be the best possible way. She's very genuine, very authentic. She's very graceful. She's got a lot of grace about her. I mean, I don't know how, there's a lot of grace there. She's just really, really holds herself to a different level of maturity that sometimes you see on the Grammy stage. We'll just put it that way, right? And so she takes the stage, and she starts singing, and she's singing one of his famous songs. And she actually gets a minute into it. And I'm not sure if you guys can remember this or not. I know it was a couple years back. If you don't remember it, or if you do and you just want to go back and view it, I really, really suggest you just YouTube it, because it's all over YouTube, even though it was years ago. It was a couple years ago. But she's about a minute in, and she stops, and she actually swears. I'm going to swear here for a minute. So if you've got your kids, you tell them to cover their ears. But she actually goes, fuck. And she's on, and it's Adele. Guys, this is not it's not Eminem or something. This is Adele. And then she looks like, oh my God, I just swore on the Grammy stage. And she turns around and faces the live band behind her, and she says, I'm sorry, but I can't mess this up. Can we start over? And she kind of says it to herself again. She's like, fuck, I can't. And you can just see the look on her face of almost borderline devastation. This was a moment that she had built up in her mind for so long, right? It was a tribute to somebody that she had a mad amount of respect for, that inspired her to become an artist, somebody that she really looked up to. And now he had passed, and she was getting to do the tribute on the world's largest musical performance stage at the Grammy Awards. She was picked to do it. And there was already this tension behind whether or not she was good enough to win the accolades that she had gotten. The pressure of this moment had to have been so intense for her. And when she started off and it wasn't perfect, she stopped it. And never mind it's live, never mind she's singing in front of a crowd of all of her peers and all of the people that are, wanting to judge her and this, that, and the other thing. And just as gracefully as possible, turned around and just said, can we start that over? And they did. And she went through it. And in my mind, one of the most flawless performances I've ever seen Adele do. And that woman is a performer. She can sing. And she doesn't have to do anything, right? Like, I have nothing against the Super Bowl halftime show. I think J-Lo and Shakira rocked it. And I hope to look that good when I'm 50. But definitely a lot of stage presence, a lot of costume, a lot of dancing, a lot of things, right? A lot of, okay, you guys get it. Adele's just standing there in like an elegant black dress, just singing from her soul. And it gives me goosebumps, like thinking about it. And so I remember watching that when it was live. I actually watched it live, which was surprising because I don't normally watch these things live. And thinking, wow, like how great would it be to have so much confidence in yourself and in your ability to do things. I don't know what the right word is. I feel like it's confidence or just like trust in yourself, belief in, just ownership of your life. Like I've been using the phrase a lot lately, design your life, because that's kind of a theme I'm on right now in every way. Like I'm on a mission to design my life, and my husband is right there with us. We're designing our life for our family and for us as a couple. And I think too often we allow life to design us. We get designed by life instead of designing our life. You see that with people who are in careers that they hate, right? I mean, if you asked 3, 4, 5 of your closest friends if they love the career path that they've chosen, how many of them do you think would say, yeah, like I love this. This is exactly what I was destined to do. I know in my experience, I know that number is not very high. And I know for me, somebody who loved my career, like I really enjoyed what I did in my corporate life, but I wasn't destined for that. Like it never felt like in my soul, like this is what I was put on this earth to do, is to be a call center operations director. Like, no, I wasn't meant to do that. That life designed me in that way. Life put a path that I followed without question, and I let it design me. And it wasn't until just recently that my husband and I decided we're going to design our own life. Like we are going to decide where we are going to go, and life better get on board because we're not stopping until we get to where we want to be. And when I saw Adele do that, it very much reminded me and parallel with me what it means to design your life, designing your moment, right? That was her moment on that stage to pay respect to somebody that she respected and that she loved in front of all of her peers, and earn that accolade, that ability, that right to do that. And when it didn't start off the way she had planned, the way that she visioned, she was brave enough to say, stop, I want to do this again because this matters to me. And this moment is going to be right. And there's so much power in that. Many of us aren't going to be on the stage at the Grammys. Some of you might be, you never know. But there's so much power just thinking in your life and all the moments that are strung along that create the life that you're living. Where have you had a chance where maybe you wanted a do-over? In the moment, you knew like this isn't going the way I wanted it to. I'm better than this. But you kept playing it out anyways because you were letting life design you. Instead of saying, stop, I want to do this again. I'm better than this. So that alone to me was very inspirational. And that was originally what I wanted to share, because I think it's really eye-opening to think back, think about your moments and wonder where you should call for a do-over. And if Adele can do it on the Grammy stage, then you can do it in your life. You can do it at a meeting. You can do it at a presentation. You can do it on a date. You can do it with your kids. You can do it at the gym, like wherever you are. If you want to stop and do a do-over, stop and do a do-over. Adele did it on the live Grammy stage. Like I don't know what you're doing, but you can have a do-over. You deserve the right. You deserve the ability to design your moment and to own that. more though than that, if you guys think that's good, let me tell you what I learned as I was researching this topic to talk about. So afterwards, Adele did an interview with People magazine. And come to find out, blew my mind, guys. Come to find out, Adele has terrible stage fright. Terrible, terrible stage fright. And she said she keeps going on stage hoping that at some point it's going to go away, and it's actually getting worse. And she was letting the pressure of the moment get to her because of this thing about like Beyonce being a better artist than she is, and letting that get into her mind. And she said she had terrible, terrible nerves that night. And she also said that if she could have a career where all she did for the rest of her career was record albums and never have to tour again, that would be her option. Like the applause and seeing the faces is not what she's doing. She's an artist who wants to be behind the scenes. She just happens to get being pushed forward. And so she said when she got out on that stage and she started to sing and she could hear she was pitchy and she wasn't hitting the notes and she wasn't doing the right things, she said that she almost not just called it quits, like to tell them to stop, but she almost walked off the stage. She almost thought to herself, if I'm not perfect, I'm not worthy of this moment. And I thought, wow, like, you know how many times in life I feel like I have to wait to be perfect before I can share my art, before I can share my talent, before I can share my purpose or my calling. You know, I talked a little bit about it before, but I've recently transitioned into a new career field, and it has been such a struggle for me because I was such knowledge. I knew everything I was doing in my past world. If any of you guys need to know anything about call center operations, like I'm your girl. I know that stuff backwards and forwards. Like I wrote the book on tricks that reps do to get out of, you know, being on the phones. I wrote the book. So I know it all. But moving into this new field where I am like the new kid on the block after 18 years of doing the same thing, being the new kid on the block was so scary. And even though a lot of the tools and the techniques and the skills are transferable, it was really hard for me to step up and say, like, I could have the ability to lead people. And luckily for me, I've had an incredible team that's been very gracefully waiting for me to step up to the plate. And I've finally done it, and we are exploding. And it is so exciting to be a part of the DBC right now, the Drinking Buddies community. But I thought to myself, I think Adele, and granted, we could debate this all day long, but I think Adele is one of the most perfect artists of our generation. Just her grace and her dignity and her skill and her talent and the way that she just owns the stage. And it's like so powerful because it's so simple. And I just see her, to me, as an image of perfection. And to know in this moment that I had interpreted one way, and I wasn't wrong. Like I wasn't wrong at all. She owned that moment. She called for the do-over, But in her mind, she was thinking, I'm not good enough to be doing this. And she almost walked off. It made me realize all that self-doubt that we put on ourselves about waiting for the right time, about are we good enough? Are people going to like this? Are people going to embrace it? Whatever it is. If Adele's still having those thoughts are going to happen for us too, guys. Like seriously, if Adele is still wondering if she's good enough to be singing on the Grammy stage, then I need to stop worrying if I am good enough to do this, to talk to you guys on a Wednesday night. Not because I'm at the same level as Adele, maybe someday, but because if Adele's still worried about it, there's probably never going to come a time where we don't worry about it. So what you have to decide to do is, even though you're not sure if you're good enough, even though you're not sure if you're ready, even though you're not sure if you're going to succeed, you've got to do it anyways. Could you imagine if Adele decided to wait until she felt good enough to sing for us? We'd have no hello. We'd have no rolling in the deep. Like, you know, she's thinking she's not good enough and doing it anyways. And if that's not good enough, I don't know what is. Right? So it really made me realize, like, the other week, to tie this kind of in together for something you guys did that I thought was so incredible. Like, I literally cried. Literally, I almost went live. But you guys have seen me cry one too many times, I think. Although you'll probably see it again. I'm working on my vulnerability. But I posted a post, and I kind of tried to make it funny because that's my thing. When I really want something, I'm being really serious. I come at it with like some sarcasm because that's like my shield. And I was like, hi, my name's Danny. I want to be a motivational speaker. I put some stuff on YouTube. My only subscriber is my mom. Could, help a sister out kind of thing, please. And I don't know what I thought was going to happen. If you guys have any idea, I was so nauseous posting that. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is when all the haters and all the trolls are going to come out and tell me I have no right to be doing this and no one's going to listen to me and all the things. I must have typed that post out and deleted it like 18 times. And I'm like, you know what? My YouTube channel, it's not right yet. Things aren't edited. It's so like, it's just not good enough to share with people yet. But I did it anyways because I've been researching this Adele story, and I thought, oh my God, if Adele let those fears hold her back from singing that tribute at the Grammy stage, we would have never had that incredible performance. So you know what? I'm going to post it, and if it goes wrong, I'm just going to call a do-over like Adele did. I'm just going to call a do-over, but I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, post, and then close my eyes and cross my fingers and pray for the best. And you know what happened? A lot of you probably do know what happened because you were involved in it. I got so much freaking love on that post. People started like a count up, like, oh, I was 16, I was 17, I was 34, I was 36. People are like, I listened to this video, it's awesome. I shared this with my friend. She's not on you. Somebody actually said to me the other day that they have a friend who needed to hear one of my story talks that I did, but they're not on Facebook. So she's like, I'm so glad you put it on YouTube because I was able to send it to her. I'm like, what? You sent my, and then obviously the thoughts, but that wasn't good enough. It wasn't edited. It wasn't perfect. Like, oh my God. Like, you know what? If Adele has taught me anything, and she's taught me a couple things, but if Adele has taught me anything, it's that you are always going to have that voice in your, I don't know if it's in your head, if it's in your gut. I don't feel like it's in your gut. I don't know where this voice hangs out, but somewhere in this vicinity that is trying to keep you in your comfort zone, because that is where we are safe. That is how we stay alive. This is where we know how things go. Like, I've never had a YouTube channel before. So having one is new. That is outside of the comfort zone. And we know what life's like without one. So why rock the boat? That's scary over there. That's the unknown. That's probably not safe. Let's stay right here. So that voice tells you all the time, you're not good enough. Don't do this. Stay here. But guess what? In this little comfort zone here, in this comfort zone, okay? This is where you survive. This is where you survive. Outside is where you thrive. And I don't know about you, but if I'm designing my life, it's not because survival is my number one priority. I want to thrive. I want to walk into every purpose and every calling that's been laid out before me. And I want to see just how far I can take this. And so I'm going to tell that voice, wherever it's at, to shut the F up. Because I am going to keep crossing over that line. And I'm confident that people on the other side are going to lift me up when I need it, like you guys did last week on that post. And also, thanks to Adele, I'm confident that when I do it and I make a mistake, which I'm bound to do, we are all going to make mistakes like Adele did on the stage. We're all going to make mistakes. I'm just going to turn around to my band back here and ask them for a do-over, because it's my life. I'm designing it and I'm owning my moments. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope my princess's coughing wasn't too distracting for you. But that has been Wednesday Night Happy Hour. I will be back with you next Wednesday with another topic. But I hope that these midweek pump you up stories are exactly what you need. Listen Wednesday night, listen Thursday morning. Drop me some feedback. Let me know what you think. If you own a moment, you request a do-over, or you shove that little voice that's telling you you're not good enough down, I want to hear about it. So send me a message. You can email me at Danny@drinkingwithdanny.com. That's DANI. or, you know, pop it in the comments, whatever works for you. Share, like, subscribe on my YouTube, do all of the things. You guys are amazing. Thanks for an awesome happy hour, and I will be seeing you guys next week. Cheers.